Dear all, I'm here representing the Joint Consultative Forum of Businesses in Ghana. So whatever I'm going to say represent the views of the entirety of the business community in our country. Fellow executives and members of the business community, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, we have converged here this morning to register our total disapproval of the passage of these taxes: the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2022, the Growth and Sustainability Levy Bill 2022, the Ghana Revenue Authority Bill 2022, and the Income Tax Amendment Bill 2022 by the Parliament of Ghana, based on the following reasons: that there has not been any effort on the part of the government to engage the business community and seek their input. There has never been any effort to engage with us. These businesses are already overburdened with numerous taxes. Therefore, the implementation of these new taxes will lead to the collapse of businesses in the country. That, again, the taxes will have rippling and cascading effects on businesses and the consuming public as well. The government could have adopted a different strategy for enhancing revenue generation in the country as a better alternative to the IMF program rather than these obnoxious taxes. We do not believe the IMF seeks the destruction of businesses in the country. Businesses are saddled with numerous taxes in various forms and now very unbearable. That overtaxation impedes the growth of business and productivity. We have become very uncompetitive in cross-border trade in the sub-regional bloc and becoming irrelevant in the scheme of affairs of the African Continental Free Trade Area. That the inflation being experienced in the country currently is as a result of the accumulation of the cost of doing business, the majority of which is from the imposition of multiple taxes. The cost of borrowing is extremely high and worsening our ability to establish and sustain our local industries. That the business community has not performed badly in terms of tax payment, because in the past couple of years, the government has exceeded its revenue targets set for the tax collection agencies, and finally, the government has overlooked the fact that these taxes will force businesses to reduce staff and laborers, increase redundancy, and discourage businesses from employing new staff. The private sector is the engine of growth of every economy. Therefore, its importance cannot be overemphasized. So the government should create an enabling environment that will ensure the growth and sustainability of the private sector rather than overtaxing businesses out of their effectiveness. The government should not sacrifice the survival and development of the private sector for the sake of the IMF program. The efforts of the IMF to support our national economy will amount to nothing if it ends up destroying local businesses. The government can enhance domestic revenue mobilization by adopting innovative and practicable measures. We of the business community are very much in the know that the taxes we pay to the government are sufficient enough. But what the government fails to do is to adopt an effective and pragmatic system to ensure compliance with tax payment, as well as rope in all other businesses, entities that have not been captured into the tax net. In fact, there are many leakages in the tax system which lead to abuses and need to be sealed to forestall tax evasion and other related abuses. For example, the abuses of the warehousing and free zone policies should be thoroughly examined and strictly checked. The tax exemption policy should be totally abolished. This will go a long way to save significant revenue for the national development. The government should do everything within its means to prune down its expenditure, and should also know that no amount of revenue generated will ever suffice the government if government expenditure remains unnecessarily high without prudent management and strict control. What we sought in our various petitions presented to Parliament was for Parliament to hold on with the passage of these bills into law to enable us to engage the government, make our inputs, and build consensus on the way forward that will inure to the benefit of both the state and private sector. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, inasmuch as we understand that the state of our economy demands measures to resuscitate it, we believe that wrong diagnosis and prescription will not yield the anticipated result. Therefore, a proper diagnosis is necessary for the right prescription to remedy the situation. We agree that the COVID pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war have adversely impacted world economies. However, we believe the government does not appear to have rightly identified the point of impact of those two events on businesses. And without proper diagnosis, the measures the government takes to remedy the situation will be akin to running from one shadow or in circles. However, we are still open to the government for such engagement to build the necessary consensus in the country's best interest. Until then, we still register our disapproval of those new taxes and hereby appeal to His Excellency the President to reconsider our concerns and please revisit the issue. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention.